Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am starting a new vlog today. We have a lot going on this week. I'm prepping to do a cross-country road trip with Siggy and our dog Laszlo for the holidays. We're going to California and we're driving there because we can't bear the thought of being without our dog for the holidays, and it's also his birthday on New Year's Day. He's turning 2, so he has to come with us. And I've actually never done this cross-country road trip before and seen a lot of Middle America, so I'm super excited. As you can see, I'm upstate right now. We just got some exciting deliveries in. We got our new baseboard heater covers that I purchased during Cyber Week sales because they were 30% off. And this was a bit of a splurge for the house. I was planning on it being a bit cheaper. Siggy's mom actually mentioned when she was here visiting, helping us work on the house, that she found a company that you can just swap out the covers for baseboard heaters. Our heaters are still in good condition. It's just the covers are incredibly old and rusted and they just aren't very cute. So she found a company that does these cast iron covers. I'm gonna show them to you. Haven't fully opened them yet, but obviously this is just gonna look much better than what is currently on here now. It's throughout the whole house. I think that's why the price kind of shocked me, but I think it's gonna make a big difference in the house and definitely improve the overall look and feel. We decided it's worth it, but if you have a small area in your home or apartment, it's a really easy swap. It's mainly these pieces that are super big that were expensive because these are custom welded to fit the baseboard heaters, which we have some really massive ones in our house. So that's exciting. Sorry if you can hear the dishwasher. I'm doing all of my chores before going back to the city today. I've been up here alone for a little bit. Also, are these not the most stunning flowers you've ever seen? These come from a local place up here. They also last so long. I have a calla lily in our bathroom that's been in there for 3 weeks and it's still alive and looking beautiful. And these flowers are giving me a story that I kind of feel compelled to share with you guys, even though I feel like it's something that I would be embarrassed about in the past, but I feel like it would also be really nice for me to have heard this some years ago. And I was having a conversation with friends recently just about this topic in general. So Siggy bought me these flowers. I naturally get flowers for myself every week. I love flowers, especially interesting ones. Definitely like a side hobby passion of mine. Just being in a relationship where someone will do small things or really like whatever it takes to make you happy if you're having a rougher day is so refreshing and nice. And I've been in a relationship like that for over 3 years now. And I've just been reflecting. Really brought me back for some reason to a time in one of my last relationships. So at that time, my ex and I were living in a space that was near this other nice Flower by the Stems shop, and I was sick this day, so I wasn't going out to get my normal weekly flowers, and this man had never bought me flowers ever in our entire relationship, which was quite long. And he was going to a place next door, and it was like a weekend. He didn't have any other plans going on. He was just running an errand and he was going to the place next door, and I asked him if he would go in and pick up some flowers for me. And he just threw the biggest fit and absolutely refused to do that. And I didn't care that much at the time. I remember finding it upsetting, but it was honestly just like normal behavior. But looking back, like thinking about how happy that would have made me if he would have just done that little act that he absolutely refused to do for no reason. He had the money to do it. I even offered to pay for them, so money isn't the option here. He had the time, he didn't have any other plan. He just didn't want to do it. And there were so many instances like that. And I just haven't experienced any behavior of the sort in recent years. And when I think back on experiences like that, it definitely triggers like a bit of an embarrassed feeling. But I actually don't think there's any reason to be embarrassed, because I had to learn, when you talk to all of your friends, or when I talk to all of my friends, we all have experiences like this that we definitely weren't sharing with each other at the time. And all of us are in better situations now. I think a lot of it's about maturing, understanding your worth, and just please, if you're in a situation like this, if you can relate in any way, I really urge you that there is better out there for you, and you shouldn't even be worrying about finding a different partner. Being single is totally fine as well. But I promise you, your life will be better and easier single, even if you think that you need this partner, this man, whoever it is, make your life better because you're used to it and because you love him, them, her. Because you can treat yourself better and you can find someone who will treat you better and that will want to treat you better, that you won't have to beg to treat you better. Yeah, it's definitely a more vulnerable thing to share here, but I feel like maybe someone needed to hear that. I need to finish my chores, pack up some things I need to take back to the city, and get going. I'm home now and my hair is more red. I know the lighting's already getting dark because it's 3:30, so of course it's dark outside now. I know I've already been reflecting in this vlog, but today is actually the 5-year anniversary of my business's launch. That's really got me reflecting. I wanted to chat about that whole journey just for a second, and then I also had the idea today to kind of talk about renovation budgeting. Sure that I'm obsessed with spreadsheets when doing like renovation Q&As on Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about it more in depth on a video. I'm no pro, but I thought why not share. I love watching like more financial videos on YouTube, and I think it's a really great like intro way to learn about money and just kind of removing any of the taboo-ness of it, especially if you didn't grow up in a super financially stable household or with any extra money to spend. I think going into your adult life, it's nice to create the best footing for yourself that you possibly can. But anyways, I've just been reflecting because like I said, it's been 5 years since the launch of my business. I thought this might be worth sharing for some motivation for you all. Here are some photos of me 5 years ago doing this business thing to kind of take you back in time. I dumped pretty much every ounce of my savings to starting this. I started it in 2017 with my ex-boyfriend. I manage it now. He still owns half of it. I do all of the day-to-day and creative for the last like 3 years or so. But 5 years ago, I was so broke. I was living in this apartment in Yorkville in New York. I had this 300 square foot apartment that had windows, but no natural light because they just were pushed up against another building. I just ran the business out of there. I didn't really even have furniture besides a bed because all of the business stuff took up so much space and I couldn't really afford to do anything else about it. I was so broke for a long time. 5 years in, we've done more than $1 million in direct-to-consumer sales. I never really share numbers because I think it's that important. Besides being someone that's numbers obsessed, I'm about to share a spreadsheet with you guys. Just like realizing the difference in my life in the last 5 years just from putting in that work and time 5 years ago. It's honestly really inspiring to myself, and I just wanted to share that because I don't know what kind of background you guys come from, but if you're doing this all on your own, maybe you aren't set up for the same level of success that other people you see do it are. I just want to let you know that you can do it. You might struggle way harder, but if you really want to do something, you can absolutely do it. The first step is just believing that you can do it and really putting the work, time, effort in, a bit of luck, of course. Privilege obviously comes into it, but I hope that can be encouraging to someone if you're in a bit of a rougher place. My life has changed so much in 5 years, and I owe even more of it to my 12-year-old self for starting posting stuff on the internet and somehow making an income off of it, which I think is definitely a bit of luck, right place, right time, because there's absolutely no way that I would be in the situation that I'm in right now without choosing to do that, and obviously the support of you guys. So yeah, I've just been reflecting a lot. I'm feeling so grateful to all of you, anyone who's ever bought our stuff. I've never really connected myself to the brand that much from like our company pages, but obviously I share it on here. And yeah, just being grateful to myself for believing in myself and that I could do it when I feel like I was told that it was such a horrible idea by way too many people. I mean, I dropped out of school because I couldn't afford to invest in both. And 5 years later, I'm so glad I did that. Now, but now to chat about renovation budget. Since I've had it in my head to buy a home, I've been pretty spreadsheet obsessed. I wouldn't say I'm even like well versed in Excel or Google Sheets. I definitely took a class in college, but I can't say I paid the most attention, but I do know the basics. I know there's also a lot of like Etsy templates you can buy for budgeting that are really beautiful. I just keep it simple and make one myself. But ever since the house went under contract, I've documented every single cost involved. I've created a rough budget for the renovation based off estimates and kind of planned out everything that we want to do for the place eventually and prioritized everything in this spreadsheet. Made a furniture budget, a lighting budget. Also in here, I've documented all of our like paint colors and account numbers and any sort of information. Basil, what are you doing? Anything that we might need to reference in the future. I'm gonna do a little screen recording to show you guys a bit more in depth in a second, but I want to talk a bit about the financing aspect of all of this. Okay, hi, here's my very basic spreadsheet. I blocked out some stuff on here just to have personal information. But I really want to show you guys that you don't need anything crazy. You don't need to be well-versed in Excel or Google Sheets to do this, but you can get cute templates online if you want. So I started with all of like the upfront costs to get into the place and all of the maintenance and due diligence to start. I have our vendor info and some finishing info like I mentioned. And then I have all of our upgrades and updates and what we've spent so far. Green are things that we've done so far. Purple are things that we want to do soon. That's kind of wishy-washy for us, and they're all estimates. Some are estimates we've actually gotten from contractors. Some are more rough from research. I know this isn't ever going to be exact, but it's good to have kind of like a ballpark number. And then I have our furniture budget and our lighting budget, and I put anything in when we buy. I always had it in my head that I wanted to buy a house, and this is somewhat out of necessity, of course, but I've always wanted to buy a bit of a fixer-upper, mainly a cosmetic fixer-upper. Nothing too crazy, just because I feel like I really rarely see any updated house on the market. That's how I would necessarily like to do it. Definitely not in my price range. So I've always had the idea that I can buy a house that looks like it has good bones, good layout, and then I can figure out how to change anything that I want to change about it. I've always had dream kitchens in mind, dream bathrooms in mind. That's kind of been my idea all along, and with that in mind, I have been saving for some years for buying this property, both for the down payment, and then I've also just had in mind that I'm gonna want to get started on work as soon as I get it. So I did end up putting a slightly smaller down payment than I originally expected to put on the place. I did a 10% down payment rather than 20%. I know you can do as low as like 3% down payments, but in my head that was so I had money freed up to get started on the renovation. But we're definitely not financing the renovation in all cash, just so that we can have cash liquid in case of an emergency. I think everyone should make the right decision for them, but there are a lot of credit products when you're renovating a home that will be 0% interest for a certain period of months. For example, for our recent hardwood flooring renovation throughout the entire house, got a Home Depot credit card because I know we're going to be spending a lot of money at Home Depot over the next few years. This isn't the only property I want to have, so I imagine that this is gonna keep happening. They'll give you a line of credit based on your income and credit score. Pretty much any purchase that you make with them over, I wanna say like $300, you can get 6-month, 12-month, or 24-month financing with 0% interest and 0 fees. The catch to that is if you don't pay it off in that amount of time, all of the interest that was deferred gets tacked on. So you definitely always want to make sure that you can pay it off in time before you commit to any of these things. But I think that's such a great option if you're responsible. There's also so many different credit card intro offer options. It'll be like 2 years deferred interest if you know you're about to be spending a lot of money. I'm definitely someone that has the problem of just obsessing over something and getting really excited about it, and then I kind of can't focus on anything else. Like right now I'm in such a house mode and I just want to do everything. We have a few big projects like our kitchen renovation, which I know is going to be quite expensive. We're working with Reform Copenhagen on our kitchen renovation as a press deal with me, which I'm so excited about. We haven't started the process yet, but that's gonna be very helpful for the cost of it. You can see on their website they do different like home tours with people around the world. For us to do that and share on social media where you're getting a discount, which is so nice. And again, just so grateful to you guys that you allow me to share my life and do this, because otherwise I definitely would not be getting these opportunities. A lot of our furniture as well has been discounted. I usually get a press discount of 30 to 50% in exchange for like a content package, or sometimes things are even free and I get paid for it, which is amazing. I think it's important to be transparent about that, as you guys are seeing everything happen kind of live, and it definitely wouldn't be able to happen so quickly without this being partially my job. And I'm trying to take a step back and really make sure that we plan things out well, because projects are definitely for the long term. I'm responsible with it. I can't get too excited. And it's my first time doing this, so I need to be patient. Okay, so I've had some questions about this. Is this house where I'm living? Is this my primary residence? Yes, it is. But I'm a big future planner, big goal planner. And my plan, ideally, is for the house to be a part-time Airbnb rental, part-time short-term rental by the end of 2023, early 2024. So I definitely want to have those bigger renovations complete by then. If we can manage it, of course. Upstate New York is obviously such a hot rental market. The town that we're located in is already a resort tourist town. Definitely like tourist activities in every season. So it is something that I would like to take advantage of, especially from a financial aspect. Yeah, the plan is for that to just be part-time in the future, because I can't imagine myself being okay with giving up that home completely. And this is a goal that's definitely a little fuzzy for me, but it is something that I would like to start financially planning for in case it ends up that I want this to become a reality. And that's the likelihood that I will want to purchase a place in a major metropolitan city like New York City, which feels so unattainable. Some other financial moves will have to be made to get there. That definitely requires years and years of advanced planning. So I don't know, we'll see about that. I just have a really hard time visualizing being in New York long-term sustainably without owning something. I want to have kids one day. Rent just goes up and up and up and up. Obviously, taxes and co-op fees, condo fees, whatever, are such a thing in New York that can make it really impossible. I know in a lot of cases it's not the best investment option, but I don't know, just planning for that has kind of been on the forefront of my mind recently. And there's definitely no risk to planning for it. That's kind of my motto with everything. But with that being said, I've also been feeling a little anxious and kind of had to accept that the next year is just gonna be a high spend year in my life, and I've been planning for it to be like that. So it's okay. It doesn't mean I'm not saving money. I'm not saving money at the rate that I have been the past couple years, but that's because I was saving for a specific goal, and I'm doing that goal right now. Still funneling my money towards that goal. It's something that I'm finding really fulfilling and a great learning experience. So yeah, that's my ramble. I've been rambling for 30 minutes, so I hope I cut that down a bit. I have to get ready for a friend's birthday dinner and drinks, and I will catch up with you guys soon.